You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. Hey, I did dress up today, going on a date. Oh, Captain. I even used deodorant today. And I combed my hair. You girls, take it in now, ladies, because this isn't going to be a common thing. I'm going to go right back to rolling out of the bed with my hair all messed up, putting on my funny hats, and then just sitting in comfort. I'm a little chilly because it's cold in Minnesota, and you always have to unbutton it down here so people can see your chest. Yeah, I have fucking chest hair, but I'm going to keep it up here because it's drafty. Cappy, I'll start with the bad. I have a bachelor's in liberal arts and work as a police officer. Well, that's not bad, working as a police officer. I'm 32 years old and have been doing it for 10 years. However, I now know that I should have what I should have realized at 18. Most degrees are worthless. Skills are what you need in a degree-saturated economy. I've really screwed up, perhaps to the point of no return. My assets are 1 rental property, $15K in precious metals, and $5K in cash. I also have a small business on the side that I started 2 months ago. Another asset is that I have an IQ of 130. All right, you can pretty much do anything you want. It's 2 standard deviations above the mean. I mean, you are almost, unless you want to be like the best astrophysicist, I think you can pretty much do whatever you want. So I have the ability to learn new things fairly easy. Here's my conundrum. My employer will pay for a master's degree if I get it in something that can be applied to my job, a worthless management degree. However, I have no desire to be a police supervisor as it's little extra pay for a lot more stress. If I pursue this route, I'll simply use the degree in another line of work. Another route I see is IT. I am self-teaching myself some programming skills, but will skills alone be enough to land a job somewhere? And I'll be 35 by the time my skills are honed. And can a 35-year-old with no degree, no experience find a first developer or designer job? Well, maybe not a full developer, but put together your portfolio, put together some examples, start working on some apps. Yes, you can, start getting some contract work. Look for RFPs. Go online. Try and get into a company part-time. I mean, I don't like how people always try to find an excuse and then throw I'll be 40 and I know that you're practically dead in IT. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You should go major in fucking creative writing. Get your master's in creative writing and see how successful you'll be along with the other 58-year-old cat ladies. Yes, pursue that, please. Lastly, I could just do what I'm doing, continuing building the business, buying rental property. If it affects your answers, I'm married with a child. Oh, jeez. What does she do? She's a nurse full-time. He has a child, 17 months old. You'd like to have another, maybe 2. Well, that's going to be difficult. You owe $180,000 on the primary home and $19,000 on the rental property. Well, work some OT and pay off that rental property. Rents for $850 a month and a payment is $117. That's good. All right, there you go. 5 and 6. Yeah, it can be a cool job and there's nothing in the world fun as a felony car chase. In my opinion, there's no job in the world that will give you the soft skills that police work can either. But it's got some disadvantages. First, the pay. I'm essentially topped out at pay of $45,000 plus additional overtime if I want to work it. Second, pension systems are underfunded, thus making them Ponzi schemes. I'm 15 years away from retirement, so I'm going to be the patsy in that equation. Yeah. Third, I have no interest in being called sir at work. It's the only motivation I can think of for being promoted. Yeah, don't 5% raise or 10 times the stress. No, you don't want to become a sergeant or a lieutenant. It's not the same, but I remember working campus security and you get promoted to supervisor and people are like, fuck no, I'm not taking that. You gotta do paperwork, so frankly, I'm looking at the potential of retiring at 48, having a deeply cut pension and no marketable skills and what I think will be a deflationary future. Pessimistic, no really not, blah, 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 blah. All right. Here's what my idea was that came to mind. If you could spin it that you want to get into cybersecurity and computer forensics, then they might pay for it. Where you could go and become, you watch the Forensic Files, which I know, I love that show. Just don't roll your eyes, but doody doo doody doo doo, boom, 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 boom. And they got the old ones from the 80s. It goes back to the 80s. Could this new technology called DNA testing prove it? It's this is great. Fucking hair people had back then. Anyway, I think you might be able to get them to pay for your degree if you go into computer forensics, computer security. That would overlap quite well with what you're doing now, computer programming, and could be repurposed quite easily down the road. So that's what first came to my mind, and so maybe fly that past your lieutenant or whoever you answer to over there, and see if you can't get that paid for by the police. Then you're aiming to get out of the police force, but maybe that might spark your interest. All of a sudden, you're doing more forensics. You're becoming a detective. You get promoted to detective, and all of a sudden you like it. Maybe you find out, and then maybe on the side you consult. Okay, so there's a case over at the next county over, and they don't have the IT guy. Hey, go talk to Bill. Get Bill over here. And then you got to go help out, the Johnson County Police Department. And then I'm watching you being interviewed on forensic files a couple of years from now, huh? That'd be fucking cool. So that's just, I don't know if that's a shot in the dark or if they pay for it, but it's worth a shot in my mind to give it a shot. Otherwise, yeah, if you don't want to become a cop, just stick with the job for now. Get your overtime, especially when your child is unaware you're even around. Make some money, pay off your rental property, and then do your own self-study in the computer programming world. I would also explore other areas of the self-teaching computer world, like you get your computer networking certifications, your languages is another thing, some databases. Again, my IT buddy, I gotta interview him. He says what they're having hard times is cybersecurity to fill the roles because people do not have the programming skills or the networking skills. It's those two things. But 3 years from now, that could be done and over with. So you're always gonna have to keep your skills up. But what I'm saying is for now, keep going down that route of programming. That's always been a solid career. If necessary, fine, go part-time school or whatever. If it looks like you need to get a degree or an associate's or whatever, I don't think you'll need that just yet. But if you can get them to pay for you to go and get a computer security or network security, cyber security, computer forensics, something like that. If that fails, though, then yeah, you're going to have to do this on your own time. There's no other way. Inquire, find out if you qualify at the state for some kind of grant or scholarship that you could pursue something that you want to, even though it may not be applicable to the police department. But yeah, that's the sad reality is you're just going to have to repurpose and on your own free time at night or in your spare time, become proficient at some in-demand, in which your case would be IT skills, which I think is a good way to go. For a rental property, that really depends because your investment horizon is so long that a neighborhood can go to shit in 10 to 20 years. All right? You could just come here to the Twin Cities down south. There's a town called St. Louis Park. Used to be the creme de la creme. That was a hip and up and coming. Now it's this diversity shit show, and it's not necessarily because of non-white people. It actually has nothing to do. It's all the hipster pieces of shit are now parents, and it's social. It's like social justice warrior central. Certainly, we have a Somali population, but you don't want to live there now. It's not the place to go. So your neighborhood could turn on you where you have your rental properties. Also, with rental income, you're dealing with people. I would almost repurpose your money to go get training in the computer world. So you already have one rental property. That's certainly more than suffices. It's a great subsidy. You almost have it paid off. I would reserve whatever money you need. That if for whatever reason you need a formalized setting for education to find a new skill, then maybe save that for tuition. And then down the road, maybe buy another rental property. But down the road, get yourself a skill. Diversify your skill base first, so that now you could go out and make $100 an hour as a high level programmer, rather than pay another $100 down and you save yourself 3% on a rental property. So, and on top of it, I just think the way to go with rental properties is to pay cash. So maybe build up a massive amount of money and then pay cash for it and be done with it. So anyway, that's it. I'm sorry. I wish I could be more helpful. But yeah, because you don't like police, and really, what else do you repurpose police? You go in the National Guard, Reserve, something like that. It's a very unique skill that you have that can't really be applied anywhere else. Security guard, I like working security, but the pay obviously is not as much. But you get a lot of time to yourself, which maybe you could teach yourself programming. Maybe double dip a little bit there. But yeah, you're going to have to develop a completely new skill, of which I endorse your programming. You just have to learn it. Don't be intimidated by your age. Or, oh, they're not like, yeah, go learn it. Put together a portfolio. Start taking contract work wherever you can get it. And get some experience under your belt so that when you're 40, you can start either directly working for people, or you can maybe even start contracting and work as an independent contractor, which makes you self-employed. And a bunch of opportunities open up there. Anyway, I know it wasn't a solution, but I hope it gave you options. Best of luck to you. Toodles.